Good morning, everyone. My name is Andy Hall. If you want to fight fascism, if you want to fight theocracy, would-be theocrats taking over our government, you have come to the right place. Pastor Greg Locke. You may remember Greg Locke. He burned books last week. He's done that's just the tip of the crazy iceberg, everyone. He is part of, what's the name of his church? Global Vision Bible Church in Tennessee. Global Vision Bible Church. And you're wondering, what kind of people go to Global Vision Bible Church? I'm sure the people who really like book burnings and who are afraid of witches. Yes, Pastor Greg Locke went on a tear the other day about how witches have infiltrated his church. They walk among his flock. Is there video? Yes, there is. Let's take a look at it.
We got first and last names of 6 witches that are in our church. And you know what's strange? 3 of you are in this room right now. Three of you in the room right now. You better look in my eyeballs. We ain't afraid of you, you stinking witch. You devil-worshiping Satanist witch. We cast you out in the name of Jesus Christ. We break your spells. We break your curse. We got your first name. We got your last name. We even got an address for one of you. You so much as cough wrong, and I'll expose you in front of everybody in this tent, you stinking witch. You were sent to this church to destroy us. You were sent to this church to lure us in. You were sent to this church to cast spell. Listen, some of you been sick because you befriended that witch. 2 of you in my wife's ladies Bible study, and you know who you are, and we gonna ask you to get out, or I'll expose you in front of everybody. We got all 6 of their names. All 6 of them. 2 of them had already been confirmed before that thing ever even said it. First and last name. This chick is new to our church and don't know none of you. So you got a choice. You can leave with your spells all by yourself. Or I'll show up next Sunday with a stage full of brooms. And I'll give you one and I'll fly your tail up out of this place in the name of Jesus. But we ain't playing your spell casting, witchcraft, nonsense, sage burning games. Everybody okay? The witches are like, nope. And your little dog too. You're out, witch.
I don't think the witch, now, and the little dog too, I think that's a reference to the Wizard of Oz. The witch, it was Dorothy who had the dog, and sage burning. I don't know where he came up with sage burning as being something that witches do. Everyone. Wow. Greg Locke on the crazy train. Right there is just a clear path for him. I got another video of some comedians talking with the faithful about, well, I don't want to, this is a tease, by the way. I want to see what's going on in the chat first before going to our next video. Yeah, we got a couple of videos this morning. Happy Monday. But happy Monday, well, we got some good news. This is actually this is a show full of good news this morning, besides Pastor Locke being his crazy self. Let's check out the chats. What a lunatic. Indeed, Sean. Indeed. For those of us who know our history, when I heard Pastor Greg Locke saying, hey, I have these names, it made me think of Joe McCarthy, right? From the Red Scare during the 50s, who told the Senate, look, I have all these names of communists in the Defense Department. And of course, he had no names. Checking out what else is going on here in the chat. Going against witches. Like we mentioned last week, you start burning books, it's only a hop, skip, and a jump before you start burning people. That is a clear, that is just how this kind of insanity evolves. You burn the books one day, you talk about witches the next day, and then you say to yourself, why not get physically violent towards women? Because that's all this is. This is just misogyny. That's what it is. Inquisitor Bacon says, wait, if Greg's criteria for being a witch is the destruction of the church, you could say that he's the witch, destroying his own church through his stupidity. Yes, I think that's a good point, Inquisitor Bacon. Good morning, Jessi Bear. Glad to see that you're here this morning. Oh, Greg Locke. He is, I don't know what he's going to be doing to, and the thing is about someone who is mentally ill, who is sick, like Locke, is that he knows that the only way that he can control his congregation is by creating this fear of the other, and that fear keeps them in line. I'm glad that you liked my science horoscope. If you haven't checked out, this is my latest post over at Only Sky. It's basically a rundown of some science stories in a horoscope format. I think it's clever, to tell you the truth, but that's just me. I am biased. All right. You want to talk about comedians? Comedians oftentimes are the sharp tip of the sword against idiocy, everyone. And I got a video. You might have seen it. I don't know. But it's about a question and answer. Questions and answers from some Bible-believing Christians that a comedian asked them. Let's check this out.
There's a book that we've seen that's in libraries and lots of schools that features a story of two daughters having sex with their dad.
Oh, wow.
They get their dad drunk to have sex with him. And this is like a book.
Oh,
should a book like that be in a school?
No.
No?
No.
Just get that out of the school.
Absolutely.
Why do kids need to read that?
That book is actually the Bible.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not a mind reader, everyone, but I would guess that woman who goes, no, in the back of her head, she's saying, it's okay when we talk about that kind of stuff, when the Bible talks about that kind of stuff, but everyone else can't do that, right? Hilarious. All right, so I told you I had some good news. There's more good news on this crazy train on a Monday morning. Oh, happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I should say that. Happy Valentine's Day. Oh, no. See, that might be a tease, too, about how Mitch McConnell is trying to thwart Donald J. Trump. But before we get into this, let's talk about this right-wing gun nut, this alt-right podcaster who's now arrested. Why is he arrested? Because the feds found a ton of weapons in his basement, and he switched these weapons from being semi-automatic to fully automatic. And let's just get right into this panel here. Alt-right podcasts are charged over arsenal of full auto machine guns. You can see it from the Daily Beast. Hey everyone, links are in the description below. A Pennsylvania man who hosts an anti-government podcast called the Alt-Right Armory, on which he has encouraged listeners to target you can see it right there, right? Basically everyone he doesn't like, everyone who's on the left, right? In terms of politicians, lobbyists, but also the cops. I guess he's not a back the blue kind of person. And he's telling them to assassinate these people. And unsurprisingly, he's accused of having, quote, amassed an arsenal of fully automatic machine guns, according to court filings. Joseph Paul Berger, a 32-year-old Navy veteran who lives with his parents. He lives with his parents. How many of these fascists have we seen, right? From the Proud Boys to the Oath Keepers, who live with the QAnon shaman. They live with their mamas. They live in the basement, everyone. A lot of them do. This guy's no different. 32-year-old Navy veteran who lives with his parents in Bethlehem Township was arrested February 7th by federal agents who say they found 13 unregistered machine guns and 12 illegal silencers. in a locked room in the basement of the family's home. The cache included, among other models, 8 AK-style rifles, 2 they're guns, everyone. They're guns that are meant to spray a lot of bullets all at once. On his show, in case you're wondering about what kind of gentleman this is, okay, so as you all know, many of you know, that I'm trying not to get banned off of YouTube. Every single time I go into the YouTube studio, there is a little reminder that YouTube still has me in the trouble bubble. So I'm going to try to say words that won't get me banned. On his show, prosecutors pointed out, Berger goes by the moniker Glock Doctor 1488. Oh, very clever, sir. Which begins with what appears to be a nod to the 14-word slogan used by neo-national socialist members of the Neo-National Socialist Workers' Party. See, that's the kind of the acronym for that word. That stage, we must secure the existence of our people. Oh yeah, see, that is one of their little mottos right there, the 14 words. And in white supremacist circles, 88 is code for, well, that term right there, the 2 H's, as H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. In 2019, Berger reportedly disrupted an event at a public library in Philadelphia where former Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe was speaking, screaming, F you, you anti-white piece of poo. And of course, the ever so popular rallying cry by fascists here in the States, you will not replace us. What? By the way, this is a good news story since this man did get arrested along with his dad. I'm just going to jump down to the last paragraph here. Magistrate Judge Pamela Carlos ordered Berger detained pending trial. Wise move, since they are obviously dangerous. His dad was released on a $25,000 bail. If convicted, they each face a maximum sentence of 30 years in prison. 30 years may not be long enough, but 30 years would be swell, everyone. I would not be unhappy if they both got 30 years in prison. All right. Gonna check out the chat before we do the halftime tummy rub show, where we take a breather. Good question, Scott Duke. Off topic by now, but does Greg Locke consider the old Bewitched show to be a documentary? Maybe. Good morning, Simply Secular Dave from the West Coast. He lives with his parents. I bet he laughs at people on the left living at home with their parents too. Of course he does. All right. I'm amazed that people are so ignorant of their own beliefs. You know, a lot of the time, people say one thing and they do something totally different. They say that they are Bible-believing Christians and yet don't open the book and read what's in there. Because if they did, there'd be a lot more secular people in the world. All right, on that note, let's take a breath, relax, before we start talking about Mitch McConnell versus Donald J. Trump. Yes, Democrats, we love attacking each other, right? It's part of what we do, herding cats and all, right? But the Republicans do it. They just do it a little bit more quietly. But before getting to that story, let's relax. Take a deep breath and take a look at
I just yelled at my dad to tell him I want food. But instead of feeding me, the dickhead meowed back at me with 13 grammatical mistakes.
Gotta pity the cat. All right. Next story. Inside McConnell's campaign to take back the Senate and thwart Trump. Oh, yes. There he is, Mitch McConnell. Go ahead. I don't know. What's the right caption for that? He's going, I don't know what to do. Donald J. Trump is going to take control of my party, and I'm going to be one of the first one he purges once he gets back into power. No love lost between those two as Trump works to retain his hold on the GOP, elevating a slate of friendly candidates in midterm elections. McConnell and his allies are quietly, desperately maneuvering to try to thwart him. The loose alliance, which was once thought of as the GOP establishment, for months has been engaged in high-stakes candidate recruitment campaign full of phone calls, meetings, polling memos, and promises of millions of dollars. It's aimed at recapturing the Senate majority, but the election also represents what could be Republicans' last chance to reverse the spread of Trumpism before it fully consumes their party. I don't know. It's a good poll. Does anyone think the Republican Party here? You can make a comment, right? Make a comment. Does anyone here think that Mitch McConnell will be able to save the Republican Party from Donald J. Trump? I'm highly skeptical. In conversations with senators and would-be senators, McConnell is blunt about the damage he believes Trump has done to the GOP, according to those who have spoken to him. Privately, he has declared he won't let unelectable goofballs win Republican primaries. History doesn't bode well for such behind-the-scene efforts to challenge Trump, and McConnell's hard sell is so far yielding mixed results. The former president has rallied behind fewer far-right candidates than initially feared by the party's old guard. Yet a handful of formidable contenders have spurned McConnell's entreaties, declining to subject themselves to Trump's wrath, all for the chance to head to a bitterly divided Washington. Look, everyone, Donald J. Trump attacks his political enemies. He does it in a very incredible fashion for everyone to see. We saw that in the primaries back in 2016. Anyone who stands against him, Donald J. Trump, will publicly shame them, make fun of them, belittle them, do whatever he can. McConnell has been careful in picking his moments to push back against the former president. Last week, he denounced a Republican National Committee resolution orchestrated by Trump's allies that censured two House Republican critics. As the former president heckles the soon-to-be 80-year-old Kentuckian as an old crow, Connell's response has been to embrace the moniker. Last week, he sent an invitation for a reception in which donors who hand over $5,000 checks can take home bottles of Kentucky-made Old Crow brand bourbon signed by the senator. I don't know. I don't know how to do the feels about this, whether or not I'm actually rooting for the left-wing fascists to kill not to kill, but to defeat the fascists. Like, am I going to be rooting for Mitch McConnell to get rid of Donald J. Trump or limit Trump's power within the GOP? Maybe I am. I don't know. I feel very conflicted about this. Trump has made clear he wants the Senate candidates he backs to oust McConnell from his leadership perch, and even considered making a pledge to do so a condition of his endorsement. Few have done so to date, a fact McConnell considers a victory. Only two of them have taken me on, he crowed, according to alluding to Chispaka in Alaska. I butchered that name, and I am sorry. And Eric Greitens, I probably butchered that name too, the former Missouri governor running for an open seat. We're going to be seeing a lot more of the McConnell, the so-called establishment. And I don't even think they're the establishment anymore. Donald J. Trump is the establishment. They're more like a government in exile. Mitch McConnell and his peeps and his people, they're more like a government in exile, trying to get back in, trying to take control of the party. I wouldn't put any money that McConnell's going to be successful with that. Checking out the chat. What's up, John Hudson? I hope you're doing okay this morning. This is a good point, Sean. Grand Oligarch Party, and it's funny how the Grand Oligarch Party seems to naturally devolve into fascism, right? Into a cult of personality around people who disdain democracy. Well, you're right, Tesla Ranger. But electable goofballs are okay. Goofballs who are willing to do what Mitch McConnell says. Yes, that's okay. You're right about that. All right. I think I caught up with the chat. And hey, everyone, I haven't said the words that I usually say before now, that there's no ads here. There's no ads here. This is chock full of information, full of links in the description that you can, check out in your own time. Because that article I just referred to for the Mitch McConnell story versus Donald J. Trump, it's a long story. And I left a lot out. So if you want to read the whole thing, please do. So no ads. This whole thing is funded. Whatever we do here, the show is funded by you, YouTube members, patrons, people who drop a couple of shekels, a couple of coins in the Venmo and PayPal account descriptions. It's all. The links are in the descriptions below. So, and if you can't afford it, which I totally understand, please share. Please tell a friend about it. We've gotten a lot more views because people are sharing these videos, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right. Wow. We're doing a lot this morning. A lot of you are in Commonwealth countries. A lot of you are in Canada, Australia. We have a lot of international folks who watch this show. So you may not care about American football. You may not care about Eminem, but of course, just the fact that Eminem took a knee, a la Colin Kaepernick yesterday during the halftime show, I think it was pretty cool. And a lot of people think it was pretty cool too. Because remember, the NFL went down hard on Colin Kaepernick, who was taking knees for Black Lives Matter. Eminem takes a knee in the middle of the Super Bowl 2022 halftime show. There was some buzz about it, whether or not the NFL knew about it, whether they did not know about it. Some people say they did. The NFL officially says that we knew what was going to happen. Links in the description below, of course. Let's see. There are articles on earlier on Sunday that suggest Eminem would be barred from kneeling Colin Kaepernick style, and that Dr. Dre would be censored from saying his lyrics "Still Not Loving the Police" while performing his song "Still Dre." But NFL's Brian McCarthy denied that certain elements of the performance caught anyone off guard. "It was no surprise to us," he told the HuffPost Sunday. "We watched all elements of the show during multiple rehearsals this week, and we're aware that was going to happen." As a review, in case of those of you who don't know what's going on with the NFL and their spotted history of defending Black Lives Matter, the NFL initially banned players and team personnel from sitting or kneeling during the national anthem, a policy that was approved by all NFL team owners, save for the San Francisco 49ers owner Jed York back in 2018. The policy stated that players wishing to protest could stay in the locker room. As many of you know, then President Donald J. Trump was all over this story because he has no policies. He has no principles. The only thing he does is go from one culture war issue to another and just throw lies all over the place. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said at the time, on-field protests created a false perception among that thousands of NFL players were unpatriotic. And of course, that was supported by Donald J. Trump. And now, flash forward to 2022, we have Eminem taking a knee. Thank you, Eminem, for actually making a stand by kneeling. Going to check out the comments before closing out the show. And of course, we're doing the after party after show. It's on my other channel. Links to be on the panel. Link to check out the show is in the descriptions below. Checking out the chat. Yeah, I need coffee too. Well, I have my second coffee. Yeah. Why, thank you. Just share this lovely stream on Facebook. Thank you, Big Zebra. Much appreciated. All right. I'm going to drop another cat video. I'm going to drop the thank you video, and then I'll see y'all at 9:30, right? Thanks for watching.
Oops, it happened again. It is 4 p.m. I haven't done anything productive, baby.